I'm Ms. Stephens. This is my U.S. history class, and today we're learning about immigration and urbanization. All right, so we're continuing our conversation from last class, talking about growth and change during this time period. Last class, we looked at the inventions that made it possible to move west. We looked at inventions that make day-to-day life easier. So today we're going to layer on top of that and look at why is it that cities are going to grow? Why is it that we're able to use technology more effectively day-to-day life? Okay? So the first piece I want you to look at, it's going to pull up on your screen a website. Go ahead, open it up. I want you and your table mates to make a few observations about what you see. You may have to scroll all the way down to the bottom. You're going to see a graph. There we go. When you look at that graph, this is noting. You should have a key as well. Okay, so if not, do you mind scrolling down a bit? Yes, okay, at the top, you should have a key that tells you who is coming to the United States, and it's on those particular years. So I want you to, as a table, click through each of these years, and I want you to take note. What group of immigrants is increasing from what country of origin? And then I want you to notice as you go on in time, which are decreasing. Okay, so look at this, talk to each other. What are some trends that you notice about this time period?
Asia's face almost
the lowest one is definitely Asia. They just keep it steady like that.
Central and Eastern Europe. That's a lot.
All right, so if you're looking, everyone go to like 1840, 1850, even 1860. What are some countries of origin that most people are immigrating to the United States from?
Ireland.
Okay, Ireland is one. What else do you see? Yeah, Beckett?
Germany.
Germany. Yes, Caden?
Great Britain.
Great Britain. Okay. Now I want you to jump ahead to like 1890, 1900, 1910. You're going to see some countries that are going to start to have like an upward slope. What are these countries that you're going to start to see people immigrating to the United States? Yes, go ahead.
Central and Eastern Europe.
Okay, Central and Eastern Europe. Awesome. Yes.
Italy.
Italy. Any others? Uh-huh. Scandinavia. Awesome. There's one more that you're going to see start to have a, it's very subtle, but an upward slope. Yeah, Ronnie? Asia as well. Okay? So there is a big shift in immigration at the turn of the century. So as we're starting to build cities, you're going to start to see immigration shift over time. So there is around 1870, there's going to be a shift in who is coming to the United States. So prior to 1870, you have a steady influx of immigrants from Western and Northern Europe. So most of these countries are going to speak Germanic or English languages. You're going to see over time, okay, that it's going to shift to more Southern and Eastern European countries. These start to get labeled new and old immigrants. Okay? This is a label that people in the United States will use. This is what immigrants will start to refer to as your country of origin, new or old. Okay? So looking at some of these countries, going back to your history of Europe, okay, if you think back to world history too, some of these countries, so you can see in Northern and Western, are going to be places like Germany, Great Britain, Ireland, Norway, Sweden. Then you're going to shift to countries like Italy, Greece, Poland, Russia, Hungary, Yugoslavia, and you're going to start to see mass immigration from Asia, specifically China and Japan is where you're going to see the most immigrants come from. Okay. What do you know about these countries as far as it goes with language, as far as it goes with religious practices? What do you remember? If you look at the list of new immigrants, how does that compare to the list of old immigrants in terms of language or religion? Go ahead, Caden.
I think that there's more of them, but they're, well, like it's already on there. More of them are from, like, more Eastern.
Okay, awesome. Go ahead, Beckett.
Like compared to the Northern and Western Europe, like places like Great Britain, Ireland, and Sweden, so it's sort of like kind of the same language somewhat. Like of course there's different ones, but compared to like the new ones, they're like Italy, Greece, Poland, they all have different languages and like different religions.
Yes. So you're going to see there's a shift, and these languages sound different to like native English speakers in the United States. So there's a big distinction in their native tongue is going to sound very different than immigrants perhaps from Germany and Great Britain. You're also going to see an influx of people that are Roman Catholic, Orthodox. You're going to see an influx of people that practice Judaism. So there's this huge shift in terms of cultural, ethnic, and language backgrounds as well that's going to play into this time period. Okay? So the question we're going to look at, why is it that immigrants are excited to come to the United States? So there's going to be two types of categories. One is going to be push factors. What is it that's going to encourage people to leave their home country? And in a second, we're going to look at pull factors. What is so enticing about the United States? So at your groups, look at this oral history of Jewish immigrants. They're going to talk about why is it that they decided to leave their country of origin. If you look in each paragraph, it's going to give you a different type of push factor. So at your tables, read through these. Look, what do you think are some reasons that you gather from this? Or even just your own background knowledge. Why is it that immigrants are going to be eager to leave their home country? Okay. Once you've had a second to read through them, I want you to, at your tables, jot down some, talk to each other. What are some reasons that they would leave their country of origin? What are those push factors?
But yeah, basically they were just being treated really badly.
Yeah, discriminated against.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were getting persecuted and like harmed and stuff. Obviously, they don't want to leave them.
Shit they were facing.
What did y'all highlight though?
A lot. They had to hide a lot of time.
All right, what are some reasons you gathered, either from this or just what would be your best guess? What are some reasons to leave your country of origin? Go ahead, Kaden.
Some people being persecuted.
Yes, persecution is definitely one. Go ahead, Nathan.
Their place of worship was not up to standard.
You got it. Their place of worship was maybe under attack. Awesome. Go ahead.
They were afraid to speak even their own language.
Okay, so kind of a fear of speaking their own language. Any others? Yeah, Mika. One more time. To join the army. They were forced. They were conscripted into their militaries. Okay? These are a few reasons that people are going to leave. So a lot of it is going to be political unrest. They're going to be persecuted for their religion. There's going to be a number of reasons to leave. Before I show you the next one, what would you guess would be some reasons that people would want to come to the United States? What do they feel like is maybe awaiting for them?
Opportunities.
Yeah, opportunities. Like what? Jobs is a huge one. Yeah? Land, right? We talked about the Homestead Act. You quite literally can get 160 acres of land. What else? Yeah, Madison? Freedom, right? Religious freedom, freedom of speech. Awesome. Any others?
Just the American dream in general.
Just the American dream. It's the land of opportunity. We'll actually talk about that. Okay? So on your next one, I want you to read the words of Italian immigrants of why is it, some pull factors. Why is it that they were interested in coming to the United States in the first place? So read through those, and same thing. In a second, once you read through, consolidate those ideas. What is it? What's the enticement?
There was always work. America was just the dream.
right, once you've read, kind of categorize these. What are some reasons for coming to the United States? Talk to each other, then we'll talk.
Bread.
Stephens U.S.
I love it.
Education. It allows for them to have more opportunities.
Is that for DMAD? Is that for DMAD? Oh, okay. I see an opportunity here. I love that. What are some reasons that you see? Yes, Lindsay.
Work.
Work. There are opportunities for jobs. Go ahead. Bread or food, right? There's actual food here. Go ahead, Becca. Education is a huge one. We'll talk about the importance of the public school. Go ahead, Marianne.
I was going to say the same thing. Like parents thought that if they would send their kids to like American schools, they would like be able to grow up and hold like high positions.
Awesome. Yes, go ahead, Ronnie.
Respect.
Respect. That's a huge one. Awesome. There is just violence in some countries that they're trying to flee. As you read, some countries are doing forced military service and just general political upheaval. So really, it's an idea of there's danger that we're fleeing. There are going to be opportunities waiting for us in the United States, so your pull factors. So some of those are economic opportunities. The United States is often referred to as the land of opportunity. That means that you have the opportunity for economic growth, social mobility. We don't have those like rigid class societies that some countries do. There's room for mobility. So Nathan said, like the American dream, right? This idea is if you come to the United States, you work hard enough and you seize opportunities that you have, there is room for growth. There's opportunities for you to not only better your day-to-day life, but you can leave a legacy for your children. So a lot of the pull is, how is it that I can set my own children up for the future? And the last one, education. We'll look at the role of the public school a little bit later. In the United States, you can get a free, high-quality education, right? You are sitting right now in a public school that's going to be established at this time. They're going to be used to assimilate immigrants, to help them learn culture, language, practices, but also there's going to be a free and excellent education. So again, opportunities for long lineage of economic growth and social mobility as well. Okay. Any questions? Okay. All right. So we looked at the reasons. Why is it that immigrants are going to come to the United States? So what happens when they actually get here? So you're going to read this poem by Emma Lazarus called The New Colossus. So the Statue of Liberty was being constructed at this time, and there was a campaign to raise money to pay for like the base of it that you can see up here on your screen. So Emma Lazarus writes this poem as kind of an embodiment of what does the Statue of Liberty actually symbolize and who is it for. So I want you to look at this poem, and the questions I'm going to ask you is, what are the nicknames that the Statue of Liberty is going to get? Who specifically is she requesting? And then I just want you to think of what's kind of the symbolism behind the Statue of Liberty, if that is your first view of the United States of America when you arrive via boat. Okay, so take a second to read that, then I want you to talk to each other about what you read. So once you've read through, I want you to look at what is the nickname given to her in this poem, and then who is it that she is specifically requesting? Who is it that is going to be greeted by the Statue of Liberty? All right, so what's the nickname that Emma Lazarus gives her? Go ahead, Madison. Yes, the mother of exiles. What does it mean to be in exile or to be in exile?
It means like to leave.
Yeah, to leave. Maybe you've been cast out, okay? So she is the mother of people that have left, that have been cast out. That kind of gives you a glimpse into what this is supposed to look like. How many of you have been to the Statue of Liberty before? Okay, what was it like? What did you notice? It's big, right? It is literally huge. So I think a lot of times, unless you've been there, it's hard to conceptualize just how giant it is. Anything else? Yes, okay. And then what is she holding? A torch, awesome, okay. So what do you think, the fact that this statue is holding a torch and she is the nickname, the Mother of Exiles, what do you think the Statue of Liberty is communicating? Mm-hmm.
She's like leading the immigrants from other countries and welcoming them into ours.
Okay, great. So like a torch, like lighting the way. It's the first thing that you see. This is meant to hold a little bit of symbolism. And then what did you read? She says, give me, and then what are some adjectives she uses? You're tired, you're poor. You're huddled masses. People that are yearning to be free. What else? The homeless. There's another one in there. The wretched. The tempest tossed. Okay. So why do you think, okay, that the Statue of Liberty, so she's sitting there in the harbor with her torch, it's the very first thing that immigrants see when they arrive. So in essence, what is this symbol that we have come to take as like one of the most like prominent symbols of America? Who is she for?
Everyone.
Everyone, okay? Who else? Who is she supposed to greet upon their arrival? Immigrants. Thank you for coming to my U.S. history class today, and go Jazz!